I want to start by telling a bit of my story, actually. So, and I'm going to start in my, around age 20. Our other sister, Bente, she told me about 2 books. One was by Louise Hay, and the other one was by Abraham Hicks. And so then I learned about affirmations, and I learned about the law of attraction. And I listened to so many audiobooks, and there are so many nice tools that Abraham gives to how to make the law of attraction work for you, how to manifest what you want. And I met my ex-husband when I was 18, and I was in that relationship for 12 years. And we're very different, and being in with him drained my energy a lot. And in order to do all of the practices that Abraham gives you, you have to have energy, you have to have willpower, and you have to actually do it. Right. So, and I wasn't doing it so much. I was reading, and it made sense. And even though I'm a biologist, so I'm a science-minded person, it still just felt good to listen to the words, and it made sense. But how do I actually put it into practice when I don't have the energy? And then eventually I got to the point where I got a divorce, and immediately after moving out, the first morning waking up in my own place, I had so much energy, through the roof, and it was amazing. And I decided that if I'm ever going to be in a relationship again, it has to be better than being single. Just for fun, I wrote a list just in case I was going to meet the man. This is what I want him to be like. This is how I want to feel. So I wrote everything down, and I wrote everything in positive. This is what I want, except I don't want a football fan. I wrote, not a football fan. And in my mind, it was like this guy who has a beer belly, a beer on top of his belly, eating chips, watching football. Didn't want that. I don't know why, for some reason, that was so important to me. But I thought, I have no hurry. I'm happy, being single, just in case. And then, of course, it only took a few months, and then I met him. And he, on his end, had been doing a law of attraction boot camp every morning, getting up at 5, meditating, writing down his list of the things he wanted. And so we manifested each other. And if you read the list today, it's like we're describing each other. And he wrote all the good things he wanted, and also wrote, not a dancer. I love dancing. So always write just what you want, not what you don't want.
So is he a football fan?
Huh?
Is he a football fan?
He wasn't until we met.
You manifested it.
Yes, I did. I also manifested. I wanted to leave Norway. I wanted to go somewhere warm, and I was like, what do I do for work? And then I was like, the universe has to figure that out. And so when I met him, he was, quite shortly after, he was going to go to Florida for 2 years for work. So I quit my job, and I sold all my things, and I came to Florida with him, and I was a housewife for 2 years. It was awesome. And that was the reward. And then after came the punishment. Because after Florida, he works for the military, so they're stationed in an Air Force base up north in a really cold place called Andøya, north of Lofoten. And it fucking sucks there. And I knew it was going to suck, and I hated the thought of it. And so I was dreading it, and I was looking at temperatures there are really low. And, so I was, in terms of manifesting, I was doing a really good job manifesting a shitty experience. So it was horrible from the beginning. It was, I got a good job, but I worked with someone who was really difficult to deal with. And very different from me. I'm very solution-oriented, and this person was super problem-oriented. And even though I have a master's degree in biology, she didn't think I was good enough for the job I was doing, because she was a doctor and I wasn't a health person, and I worked as a manager for occupational health services unit in a company. So I manifested chronic illness. I got chronic headaches, and it was so bad. Like, imagine when you've got a cold and you can be on the sofa and watch Netflix and drink tea and it's kind of cozy. I couldn't watch any screens because then I got a headache. I couldn't lie down because then I got blood to my head and I got more of a headache. I could do like light housework, and I was in this shitty place where flights were super expensive and you're kind of trapped. So it was like headaches for 3 weeks at a time, then maybe a week or so where I felt better, but then it came back, and I got so depressed, like almost lost my will to live, because like I can't plan anything because I don't know if I'm going to feel good enough to do it. Didn't want to meet anyone because I didn't like the person I was. I didn't want them to see this person. So it was shit. So it's funny that we're here in Portugal, because Portugal is where I found energy healing. So my friend at the health food store, she said, you should go to Portugal and visit my friend. She has an olive farm there. You should go there and visit her. So I buy a one-way plane ticket, I get a rental car, and I drive to visit Rena. And she just let me relax, and we picked some olives, and it was good. And then she told me about Bruce Lipton. And I said, okay, I'll check out Bruce Lipton. And then after a week at the olive farm, I wanted to go to the ocean. So I get in the car, I start driving it towards Algarve. Called my husband, because I can't be on screen, so I didn't find a hotel before I left. So I called my husband, hey, can you find me a hotel? Nice one, maybe a spa. So I'm by the pool at this hotel looking at Bruce Lipton's video on YouTube, Biology of Belief. So here he is, an amazing biologist. And if you haven't seen him, he's like a super cute grandfather, And he's explaining the law of attraction with my language, biology. Like, and he says, if you can control your beliefs, you can control your life. And then at the very end of the video, he says, and my favorite belief change modality is called PSYCH-K. And then the next video is the creator of PSYCH-K explaining about PSYCH-K. So I watched this. I sent both videos to our sister, and then we talk, and my sister says, we're learning PSYCH-K. So then after a pretty short while, we traveled to Belgium for a weekend course of PSYCH-K. And with PSYCH-K, you learn how to change your beliefs, and you learn how to change your perception of things. So instead of doing affirmations, forever, and hoping that they will stick, you say the same thing over and over and over again. Come on, learn. You do a PSYCH-K process and you change a belief in 3 minutes, and it's done. It's like you have this subconscious mind, you have this hard drive of all of these beliefs and programs, and suddenly you have a monitor and a keyboard. And you can just go in there and rewrite, and you can change your beliefs, so then you can change your life. So I started, I had a lot of resistance at first, of course, doing it with myself, and I struggled with muscle testing and all of that. Then I started doing it, and then we moved to a place where you can actually live and have fun and, enjoy life, and I got so much better. And I found another job, which was really good, and I had a lot of passion about it, and it was nice. And then we went back to Florida another time, so I got to be a housewife again for 7 months, and I loved it. and I started learning more energy healing modalities. And when you learn, you get certified, you have to do sessions for free with people. So then I started working with other people, you know, like, okay, and they started having results, and it was amazing. So then I started a company, and I started working with people, and then I thought, then I'll go back to my job, and then I'll build my company on the side, and then eventually I'll quit the job. But then I got sick again. So my body was like, come on, you're supposed to be an energy healer and a coach. You're not supposed to be doing this work. So eventually I just quit because my body wanted to do what I'm doing. So I'm going to tell you about some of these modalities, and then I'm going to teach you one, and each of you is going to get a session with one. Well, actually, Belief Code, which is the session one, actually incorporates the other two as well. So that's kind of my story about how I became how I went from a hardcore biologist, not having any access to my intuition, never feeling any energy, you know, never being connected really to myself, to now, you know, feeling energy and having access, like things pop into my intuition and it makes sense and it's often spot on, and now doing this full time, and yeah. So